The Sony ZV-E1 is doing all of this all with AI, auto framing. Let's talk about it.
Oh, Russ. How much of that was in frame? All right, so you peeped the game, right? This tracked me. The AI tracked me on this is an 18mm Zeiss Batis 2.8. So a super wide angle, and I'll explain why I think that's important to this function in a few. But this followed me all around the table. All around the table it followed me. And I wasn't sure if that was gonna work. That was the first run of me trying that. I knew it could do the simple stuff like this, like following me, you know, like a Pocket 3, Pocket 4, 4P, Insta360 Luna, all the stuff, right? I knew it could do that. But I came out here, and I was going to shoot another video out here, but I was like, hey, that pool table, I wonder if that auto framing feature can get me around the whole pool table. So let me simulate playing a whole game of pool and see what happens. And you saw it. It tracked me. It was pretty easy. That is a tremendous and effective usage of AI. If that's the AI we're talking about, keep it at that level, I'm good. I'm good. When it gets to do all the other stuff where it wants to automate your whole life for you, that's where I draw the line. But in regards to being able to track me around this whole billiards table, amazing, amazing. And the quality of it, because, you know, I normally shoot 1080p 60 frames, but because this pulls in from the sensor, it uses the sensor, and again, this is a full frame camera, Sony ZV-E1. The fact that it's able to punch in on different parts of the sensor to keep you in frame, I wanted to keep the resolution at its highest. So I'm now shooting at 4K 60 instead of 1080p 60. And I think that helps retain the quality that I would get if I was having this camera zooming in manually at 1080p 60 frames. So you could change the level of crop. I have this on the largest crop. You could do small, medium, and large. I think with using the wide angle lens that I have on here, I have the 18mm 2.8 Zeiss Batis. I think that adds to what the creativity of what you could do with the auto framing feature. Because the angle is so wide, it allows it to pull from so many different parts of the sensor in the frame and like the canvas. Like you're giving it a wide canvas to pull from, right? Like you could try this with a tighter lens, a 40, 50mm, 85mm, but you're limiting the frame, you're limiting the canvas of what it could pull from and to crop into. I think the secret sauce is doing a wide angle lens and then having that room to breathe and allow the AI to track you as if it was being a manned camera. And the functionality of that is amazing. Like, this is just the tipping of the iceberg for me. Like, I'm going to try different stuff. Like, and I found the auto framing feature, I found it by mistake in regards to, yeah, it could do the Osmo Pocket stuff, you know, get Insta360 Luna, it could do all that normal stuff of tracking you, talking head, whatever. But the fact that it could track and then zoom in, that's not something those cameras can do, okay? So the fact that it can track you and then zoom in to give you a tighter frame, because again, it's pulling from that full frame sensor as opposed to like a 1-inch sensor with those other cameras. This allows for so much more functionality. And again, flexibility. If you're new to my channel, I'm all about the tech that we currently have and pushing it to its limits, or finding out how many ways you can like really expand the capabilities of your tech equipment. With this Sony ZV-E1, which I think was the first camera from Sony to have this AI type of framing, the auto framing, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this was the first one. It has since made its way into other cameras in Sony, but I think this ZV-E1 was the first. And again, this was thrown around like it was a gimmick. And there are some gimmick features in this camera because it was targeted towards, you know, vloggers, content creators, all that stuff. But as someone that fashions himself as a little bit more than that, this AI framing thing is not just a gimmick. Like, you can legitimately use this. Like the fact that I just filmed myself playing billiards and it was as if someone was manning a camera and trying to keep up. Hella dope. Like extremely, extremely dope. And I can't wait to try more things. Like, I experimented with some B-roll and I kind of held it up and see if it would track the subject, and it did, right? But then as it was doing it, once it locked on the focus, I guess the AI got tired of locking on. So then it just kind of pulled out and widened out to its original focal length. So this is probably like around a 35, 37 equivalent with the crop. But when it zoomed out, it pulled all the way out to its normal focal length. So it pulled out to the full 18 mil. And then once I put the object down, it then slowly zoomed back into me. And I said, well, wait a minute now. That type of movement is dynamic. I could cook up with that. Let me see if I can create a move where make it do that thing again, where it widens out to the widest of the focal length and then let go. And then as it's pushing in, let me deliver a line or two. And that's how I got to open. That's how I got to open it to this video. Cause I was like, wait, it can do that? Well, let me make it do the widening out thing and push out, then make it push back in and deliver the line as it's pushing in. So again, thinking outside the box, trying to be creative with it and trying to push, the capabilities of it. Now, you can't just set that up. I literally found that by playing with it. And that's something like I try to extol the virtues of learning your equipment. Everyone's jumping to different systems, jumping to upgrading their systems, and they haven't even really locked in on the system that they currently have. I'm trying to lock in on this ZV-E1 because I love the camera so much. I had the video before where I talk about, the three main things that made me love the camera. This is in the top 5. This is easily number 4 of why I love this camera. The fact that I can do something like that and have it on such a wide canvas and it tracked me no problem. That was dope, bro. Like looking back at it, when I stopped recording and looked back, I was like, oh, it worked. Like a random thought in my head of, can it do it? The answer is yes. So again, it makes me just keep coming back to with this camera. What can it do? 4K 120, 4K 60, no crop, 4K 120, small 10% crop. Amazing sensor that gives you this type of quality. And now this is 4K 60. I think going from 4K 60 up from 1080p 60, I think is a real difference, in addition to having a wide angle lens. Like if you want the formula for like that billiard scene, wide angle lens, 18 mil, 2.8 Zeiss Batis, instead of 1080p 60 frames like I normally do and swear by, 4K 60, because it allows you to punch in more and retain higher resolution when it punches in. And then having it on the large setting within the auto framing crop. Okay, so large crop. They have small, medium, and large. This is the large crop because I want to kind of maintain that 35-ish POV or field of view on every shot. So hella dope, man. Hella dope. Can't wait to figure out more ways to use this. So I go by the name of DCMD. This has been Sure Free Tech. Another reason to love the Sony ZV-E1 and an actual good usage of AI. I'll talk to you again very soon. The damn thing really tracked me around a whole pool table, bro. Around a whole pool table. It really tracked me. Why aren't you using this?